Like with every other video, I'm going to start off by saying this year I want to get 10,000 subscribers, so if you could help me out, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, or just for a laugh, why not? It's free and it'll help me out, unless you hate me. But even so, do it anyway, because hate is wrong. So hello and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 10. Now, I originally did this video like 4 years ago. Obviously not this exact video, but as in I did review Series 10 straight after it came out back in 2017, which I've just realised is actually quite a while ago. Have I really been doing this that long? But anyway, it's going to be interesting because this is the first series that I have re-reviewed on this channel. I mean, straight off the bat, I know for a fact that I don't fully agree with the review that I did a few years ago. I remember saying that I thought it was the best series since Series 5, which I definitely don't agree with. I think that's Series 8. There's certain episodes in this series that I remember liking that I don't particularly like now, and vice versa. And overall, my opinion of this series has gone down a little bit overall, I think. But let's properly get into it. So, as you're aware, Series 10 is the last series of the Stephen Moffat run as showrunner. It's also the last full series to feature Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. Finally, we get rid of Clara and we have a brand new companion in the form of Bill. We also get Matt Lucas as Nardole returning in this series. For some reason, people seem to forget how baffling a decision it was to bring Nardole back at that point, but weirdly it worked out. So let's start off with the general overview. Now, Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, I really like in this series, I've got to say. Whilst I think my favourite version of the 12th Doctor is in Series 8 because I do like that more darker, edgy Doctor, this one is arguably the best because he is still that, but he does have a more light-hearted tone to him. It's not like Series 9 where it's like, who the fuck is this character? This feels like a nice amalgamation of the two. But I've got to say, in saying that, I do miss the more edgy Doctor still. I do wish that there were more darker moments for this Doctor. You don't really get them all that much throughout the series, similar with Series 9, but I do feel that they are more frequent compared to Series 9. I just think he's really lovable in this series, and it kind of gives me a vibe of the Season 22 6th Doctor to the Trial of a Time Lord 6th Doctor. He's still very much the same character as he was previously, but he is a lot more likeable now. Pearl Mackie as Bill. She's a breath of fresh air, really. I wouldn't say that she's my favourite. I can't remember what tier I put her in my companions video a while ago, but she is definitely a companion that I feel like we needed. She's someone who feels down to earth and genuine and real, and that's something I really couldn't say about Clara. I think her dynamic with the Doctor, particularly this Doctor, does work better than Clara. I know that a lot of people like the 12 Clara dynamic. I really didn't, as you guys are more than aware at this point. And whilst Bill isn't perfect, she does have her flaws. She's a likeable, relatable character, and I enjoy her presence on screen. I don't hate her, I don't dislike her, I don't get pissed off by her like I had done the previous 3 years with her predecessor. Nardole as well, again, not one of my favourite companions. I like how they use him sparingly throughout this series. It's not like he is a mainstay companion. He pops up every now and again and then permanently joins the TARDIS team. Not too dissimilar from someone like Rory. In terms of his personality and his dynamic with the Doctor, I really like it because he is the comic relief, but he has got that really nice banter with Peter Capaldi that just seems to work, and it's not that really irritating Moffat humour. A lot of it does seem to land. So, as always, let's go into an episode by episode mini review, starting off with the pilot. I don't know why, I fucking love the pilot. I think it's one of them where it is a run around. I don't think it's a noteworthy episode of Doctor Who. I don't think it is anything special, but everything that it does do, it does it incredibly well. The only thing that I don't really like about this episode, and I will briefly mention it later, is Heather. The only reason why I don't like her all that much is because I don't really feel that connection with her and Bill. I don't think that they really shared enough screen time to justify her chasing Bill all over the universe. Like, if it was established that those two were already together when the episode started, I could believe it a little bit more. But seeing them meet and have, what, 2 scenes together before she turns all evil puddle girl, I don't buy it. The CGI does look a bit shit in this episode as well. And let's face it, the villain is a puddle, but apart from that, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the first time that you see the TARDIS, and I think that's maybe the reason why I really fell in love with Capaldi even more in this series, because that first scene where Bill goes into the TARDIS and he's there and he has that I'm the Doctor, this is the TARDIS moment, I really liked it, and I still think it is one of Capaldi's standout scenes as the Doctor. Smile is underrated. I really like Smile. The ending is very, very rushed, but I think a lot of people, when they saw the trailer and they were like, emoji robots, everyone was like, oh, for fuck's sake, why? But in fairness, they're actually not that bad. I kinda like them. The location work in this is absolutely stunning. I really want to go to that place in Spain. And I think, yeah, whilst it's not perfect and the ending is very, very rushed, like there was that whole big deal, oh, Ralph Little's in an episode of Doctor Who. What if he's the Master? No, he's just some geezer that turns up for like 5 minutes in Smile. But an enjoyable episode with some really humorous moments. I just really like it. Thin Ice, I think is pretty cool. I think that's also a good episode. I don't love it as much as I used to, because the more I think about it, the less I like that punch. Now, punching a racist, absolutely do that. The Doctor doing it, it feels out of character. You know, the Doctor is better than that, if you know what I mean. He doesn't need to use violence. The Doctor is better with words, and I feel that scene could have been handled a little bit better. And I think I sort of fell into that trap of, on paper, that scene is like, well, hey, yes, he punched a racist, that's a good thing to do. Whereas if I think about it, maybe he should have been a bit smarter about it. But then again, sometimes you can't be smarter about it and you just have to fucking lamp him. The rest of the episode I think is pretty cool. There's a really dark moment where a child dies. I think that's brutal, and I love that for Doctor Who. I love Capaldi's outfit in this one as well, actually. And I love the setting, like Victorian London, I'm down for. The Frost Fair actually looks really, really good. However, I do feel that this is a bit of a retread of The Beast Below. Knock Knock, I really like. I know I said at the start of this video this series has gone down in my estimations a little bit, but these first 4 I'm actually really liking. David Suchet I think is marvellous in this story, even though he was just a naughty, naughty boy. But I think it's really chilling. It does feel really atmospheric and claustrophobic at times. Yes, the ending is a little bit daft, but Doctor Who's always daft, let's be serious. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable one. I would happily revisit this one quite a few times before I would some of the others that we're going to be going into now. Oxygen, I think, is a big disappointment. Like, this was billed as like the best one of the series, like this is the scary one. It's alright, it's not great. I don't know what it is. I've just never really had a massive desire to rewatch Oxygen, and I feel like the message of, you know, the anti-capitalism stuff, I feel it's very on the nose to the point where it's distracting. Now, that's not me necessarily saying that I disagree with what they're saying. What I am saying is they could have handled that better, because you may as well have just had the Doctor just stand there and go, yeah, fuck capitalism, which he essentially does. Again, I feel they could have handled that in a smarter way. But the fact that it'll get to a stage in society where we will end up paying for oxygen, oh, I can absolutely see that. The Doctor going blind, at the time I was like, whoa, this is really different. But the more I think about it, I'm like, well, it didn't go anywhere, so what was the point? Then is it the Monk Trilogy? Easily the worst of the series, like from start to finish. I know a lot of people like Extremis. I really like Extremis up until the last 5 minutes. And I think when you find out that all of this was a dream, it's like, this is rubbish. That entire episode is just, an invasion is coming. If I can summarize 45 minutes in like 3 or 4 words, it's not done a very good job. What you see on screen is very good, but none of it happens. So in my view, it's pointless. Again, you could handle that in such a better way. And I don't understand how a Doctor who's blind can read an email. How does that even... I don't get it. The next 2 parts are a load of shit as well, and you can tell that it was written by different writers. If I had to pick, I would say that the middle part is probably the best one, but that's like saying, what's the best sandwich? Fucking turd, sewage, or dog shit. They're all more or less the same, just slightly different flavours. Then is it the Empress from Mars? This is a good one. I think the thing is with this episode, I like the fact that they bring the Ice Warriors back, and I do like that it is actually set on Mars, which is obviously the home planet of the Ice Warriors. But again, I don't really remember all that much about it. It's just one of those episodes that whilst I'm watching it, I enjoy it, but I don't really think about it after. I don't think it's one of those where I'm like, oh, I've got to rewatch that. The designs of the Ice Warriors, like the modern ones, I absolutely love. And I really like the Empress design as well. I think she's really awesome. But when you start doing shit like, oh, there's Victorians on Mars or whatever they are, or I don't know, that stuff is like too outlandish for me to be on board with. Are they Victorian? I can't even remember. See, that's what I mean. This is just quite a forgettable one, but I do enjoy it when I watch it. I also don't like the fact that when Ice Warriors kill people, and I can't remember if this was in Cold War as well, but I don't like that they just turn into like rubber balls of people. Like, just fucking kill them. Eaters of Light was a huge letdown, and the reason is this was written by Rona Munro, and I distinctly remember talking about this in my review 4 years ago. Rona Munro is the first classic series writer to return for the modern era. And she wrote Survival, which is the last story in the classic era, which is one that I really, really like. It's one of my favourite McCoy stories. This just didn't work on any level. This is nonsensical, boring crap. Would I want her to come back again and write something else? Yeah, I'd give her a go. But if it's like this, don't fucking bother. Then, of course, we come to the finale. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because part 2 of my review from 4 years ago was essentially all about the 2-part finale. And I've got to say, thinking about it and having rewatched that review in preparation for this so I knew what I said, I don't think I disagree with anything I said back then. I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. But in summary, for those who haven't seen it, World Enough and Time, I think, is phenomenal. As an individual episode, top 5 of the new series, without doubt. I think in terms of what it does for the Cybermen, the horror factor, seeing the origins of them, the time dilation stuff, everything about it, minus the first 5 minutes, which is cringeworthy. Everything else, I absolutely adore. I think this is more or less, barring the first 5 minutes, a flawless episode of Doctor Who. I have no faults with it whatsoever. World Enough and Time, however, no, because that's one we just spoke about. The Doctor Falls, however, is a major letdown. And again, I've done a whole video on this talking about like Moffat finales and Doctor Who episodes that I would change. This is one of them because why are we on a farm? I don't care about these characters. I don't want to be running away from the Cybermen. I want to carry on that dark, twisted tone that we had in the previous episode. And while we have some happy bullshit ending where Heather comes back, even though, like I mentioned before, I didn't fucking buy their relationship in the first place. Why are we doing that? I think there's a much more interesting story to be told if you stick with World Enough and Time and conclude that as a story. I feel like bringing John Sims' master back made no sense. There was no point because he doesn't do anything. There's no real reason for him to be there. He's on screen for a few minutes, then it's like, yeah, we're going now. Why were you even here then? I do like the conclusion of Missy's arc as a character because I do like where she has to choose between her previous self and being who she is now. I get that. But everything else, I'm like, this is a major fucking letdown. And again, it's another way to make the Cybermen look so cheap and crappy. And I don't mean in the physical sense, in terms of them as characters. In the first part, I'm like, whoa, this is it. This is how Cybermen should be done. In the second part, I'm like, wow, they're cannon fodder, and if you get converted, don't fucking matter. To just reverse it dead easy is stupid. And again, Moffat in a video, I mentioned this in my previous review of this, but Moffat in an interview said like, oh, Doctor Who's not gritty, it's not dark, it's not edgy, you know, it should be happy and uplifting. And you know what, I get that, but don't make it gritty and dark and edgy just to change the tone because you don't think Doctor Who should be that way. If you don't think Doctor Who should be that way, don't fucking set it up to be and then pull the rug from under people because it doesn't fucking work. It looks lazy and it's bad writing. Overall then, I think it's half and half, this series, thinking about it. There's episodes that I definitely think I'm going to revisit again. I think there's episodes that I don't think I enjoy as much as I did. I think there's episodes that I enjoy more. But overall, yeah, it is a bit of a mixed bag of a series. I'm going to give series 10 a 6 out of 10, but it's a low 6. It's not like, oh, it could be a 7. It's like, this is teetering towards being a 5. In the comments below though, guys, let me know what you think of series 10. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever it is, let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe for more. Social media and Patreon links will be in the description as always, so if you'd follow me on any of those things, then I'd absolutely love you forever. But till next time, guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.